Hello, my favorite people. Welcome to my video. It's time for an Ascension Update. It's me, Oracle Brigette. This is an adult program. I like to use adult language. This is spiritual guidance for adults, specifically light workers. If you don't identify as a light worker, this still may resonate with you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're doing well. I don't have much time. I have about a half hour. So say a prayer for me to keep this under 30 minutes. Oh, just popped my hip. That felt awesome. I don't know why I'm looking so boobalicious today. It's giving boobalicious. It's giving I breastfeed my cat. I don't, just so you know. That's me just being hilarious. In case you're not familiar with my work, I am hilarious. It's true. Okay, so here we go. That's the intro. Listen up, people. The light has won. For those of you who have put conscientious effort in your life to be a good person, you will find it's much easier to be a good person moving forward. Those of you who have put conscientious effort into doing shadow work, into moving in integrity, into caring about the world around you, and into caring about the impact you have on the world around you. In fact, if you have been focused on having a positive impact on the world around you, then it's going to get so much easier for you to continue this beautiful work that you're doing. Okay, my darlings? Congratulations, the light has won. Things are going to start to let up. Now, something happens here. Whenever things start to let up this way because the light has won, sometimes the light workers and the people who really are genuinely good people, who are genuinely raising the vibration of the planet, sometimes they feel a lack in motivation. You know, when before, in order to be a good person and spread light on the planet and make the world a better place through being a good person, before it used to feel like spiritual warfare. It used to feel like a genuine battle to just be a good person because there was so much resistance from dark energy on the planet. However, as I said, the light has won. So because the light has now won, there's no longer that prevalent dark energy on the planet, and we're going to be witnessing the exposure and the expulsion of dark energy from human beings, from all of humanity, from the collective, from everything. The exposure and the expulsion of dark energy. So for those of us who already have been aligning with the light, who've been very disciplined and discerning about conscientiously aligning with the light, you don't need so much oomph and motivation anymore to move forward in alignment with the light, because there's no longer that resistance from the dark. So I feel that some of you might feel like, I feel like some of you might feel like it's harder to align with the light, even though you've done it for so long. You might feel like it's harder to align with the light because there's not that pushback resistance. So I hope to reiterate and iterate that I want you to keep going on that light path. Just because you don't have that same motivation and inspiration to move forward in alignment with the light, it doesn't mean that the light is not prevalent. It just means that the battle is over. So you do not need to have so much oomph as you move forward and as you align with the light. You don't need all that oomph because the dark is no longer there for you to push up against. The dark is no longer there to resist you in aligning with the light the way that it used to be. So it's a little bit of an odd transition for us now that the light has won. We no longer have to move forward so much in that kind of battle energy where it's so hard to align with the light. And we do it anyways. And we are light workers. Ah! Thank God. Okay. I'm not saying you can't still activate that energy if it feels right for you. I'm simply saying it's not going to require that much effort now to align with the light because the light has won. But what about other people? What about other people in our collective who maybe don't align with the light? What about people in our collective who benefit from taking advantage of other people? What about people in our collective who are not good people? People who have low vibrations and who perpetuate low vibrations and who perpetuate victimhood and abuse on the planet? And what about people who maybe aren't evil abusers, but they just aren't good people and they don't care about the negative impact they have on others? What about those people? What about all the rest of the society with all their demonic entity attachments and their evil ways? What about those people? What happens? How does Ascension affect them? So I've already described to you how Ascension is affecting those of us who align with the light, and how we might feel a lacking in motivation simply because there's no longer that strong resistance. So we don't need that kind of motivation in order to keep aligning with the light. It's going to be much easier moving forward. We've put the We've put the footwork in, the groundwork in, okay. We've built the neural pathways. We know how to align with the light. We can just keep doing what we're doing. But for those people who did not derive their power from the light, and for people who derive their power from dark energy, there's lots of different ways to derive power from dark energy. We don't want to get into it because we don't do that here. But I do want you to know that those people, they are going to be having a much harder time. Because the light has won in the spiritual warfare that just completed, that means that the darkness is no longer on the planet in that way where people can source it and become powerful from it. Now that can't happen anymore. It just can't happen anymore. So people who would usually get their power from doing dark things or being abusive or being evil, they're going to find that those demonic entities that they would usually pull energy from, whether they realized it conscientiously or not, they're going to just see they're not there. It's like, where have all the cowboys gone? Do you guys remember that song? Where have all the cowboys gone? I don't know what she's saying there. So all the low vibrational people are like, where have all the demons gone? Sorry to laugh at you if you're one of the people seeking out the demons and they're gone. So the light is the prevalent energy for the first time ever before. So as the light continues to support us in moving forward and in creating and manifesting heaven on earth and peace on earth, for those who do not participate already in creating and manifesting peace on earth and heaven on earth, those people are now going to have a really hard time. They're going to have a hard time getting anything done, and they're going to have a hard time being confident. They're going to have a hard time communicating. They're going to have a hard time with everything, because every little thing that they had to abuse people about, that they were sourcing their energy and their inspiration from demons, there's no oomph there anymore. There's no potency there anymore. The demons just can't give what they used to give to these darker people. And so these darker people are going to start having issues, because these darker people are not going to be able to continue to succeed in that same way. So, we're going to have compassion for our fellow mankind. Everybody, God is going to redeem everyone who will be redeemed. And everyone gets a chance to align with the light, no matter how dark they are. Everyone gets a chance. And I love that. So, it's probably going to be really strange for people who are used to being dark, realizing that there's no there's no momentum there anymore. Where they used to be able to engage with energy and behave in a certain way, and they would literally feel a momentum bringing them forward and moving them forward. That's completely gone. I'm hearing like a high-pitched noise outside. That's not my ears ringing. That's not your ears ringing if you hear that. Where have all the cowboys gone? So we've got a big portion of our society feeling a little legless, like they got their legs chopped out from under them. We got a large portion of society really not sure how to motivate themselves, not sure how to move forward, not sure how to feel powerful, because they were sourcing their power from demonic entity attachments, and those demonic entities no longer have the kind of prevalence on our planet that they used to have. Because low vibrational demonic entities are ultimately bodiless energy. An entity has no body. So it's an entity with no body that exists on a particular plane of existence. And as all of humanity raises in vibration, all of humanity elevates to a higher plane of existence where those demonic entities cannot exist. The demonic entities will stay in the hell on earth vibration while humanity elevates to the heaven on earth vibration, leaving the demonic entities in what's going to feel like the past. So obviously, we're going to witness an epic transfer of power in our society. One, we're going to witness the transfer of power from men giving power to women. And that's the big one, because a majority of our mankind, of our men, never learned empathy. And so a lot of men accidentally sold their soul when they were little boys. A lot of men accidentally sold their soul when they were little boys or when they were teenagers to the devil. They partnered up and made contracts with literal demonic entity attachments at very young ages, these boys. And they didn't know that's what they were doing. How could you expect society to literally groom you to be a demon? Could you imagine society grooming you to literally be demonic? That's what patriarchy is. The removal of empathy from men and forcing women to compensate for men's lacking of empathy. And now men are so suffering and have zero satisfaction in their lives because they're handicapped. Because it turns out everyone needs empathy. And women can't hold the empathy for all of society. Men are going to have to figure out how to activate their own empathy, and they don't know how yet. So what are we going to do in the meantime? We're going to witness a transfer of power, okay? There's just going to be more women who can handle things better because they're empathetic, so they're whole. So there's no demons that women need to channel or pull evil demonic energy from in order to motivate us. We have empathy. We have big open hearts. We're loving, gorgeous, wonderful people, us people with vaginas, okay? Whereas men have been trained and groomed since childhood to not be empathetic and to instead be demonic. So these guys are going to have to go through that experience of realizing, oh my God, the thing that I've been shaming women for my whole life, and the thing my father shamed women for, and the thing my grandfather shamed women for. Turns out I need that. Turns out that thing that me and my fellow men have been shaming women for, it turns out I need that quality. It turns out, shit, men are going to be like, shit. Turns out women are actually more whole than us. Women are better than us. Women are smarter than us because they have empathy. Luckily, redemption is for all. So men can get their empathy too. Yeah. And it's going to be so much easier for men to get their empathy now because the demonic entities that have previously been inspiring them to behave like reptilian demons. Because the collective is raising in vibration. So because the collective is raising in vibration, it's harder to access those demonic entities that continue to reinforce for men that they don't have to have empathy. So men are going to start to be realizing on their own that they are lacking, that they are handicapped, that they are missing something integral that is preventing them from having a whole and satisfying experience of life, especially when comparing themselves to women. They see how women, as a single woman with no kids and no husband, just a fucking cat or a bird, seems to be the happiest and healthiest demographic on the planet. We have empathy. We can, as a woman, I have empathy. I can live a whole and satisfying life as myself. Men deserve that too. Men deserve that too. But first they have to realize they don't have it. First, they have to realize that they can no longer function in this demonic way that they probably didn't even know was demonic, a lot of them. It was just patriarchy. It was just the way they were supposed to go. They were supposed to behave. They were just doing what they were told to do. So, prepare yourselves, okay? All men and demonic, low-vibrating people are going to be having a challenging time because the demons that they have partnered with that told them that they're on top are gone. And it's like getting ghosted by your main source of power. So now behavior that used to evoke a powerful response in people is now creating no response, and there's no feedback, and it's like before certain people could behave inspired by demonic entities, and their low vibrational behavior would have the ability to manipulate people, to take power away from people, to force people to do things they didn't want to do. It's really low vibrational, and people figured out how to do that. Those same people are going to try and continue to do what they've always done, and they're going to find that it doesn't click, that there's no potency anymore. There's no potency anymore. So they're going to use their same old demonic, manipulative, narrative, language, script, whatever. But people are going to respond differently now. There's no demons around to reinforce the insecurity in the mind of those who are being abused. Because the demonic entities work with everyone. They are putting negative thoughts in everyone's minds no matter what. It's just that those that have empathy hear a negative thought and they're like, okay, yeah, maybe not that. And those that don't have empathy are like, yeah, good idea, devil. Good idea, demon. I'll do that. Oh. So, the men are going to be going through a dark night of the soul. People with penises, except for the small few who learned empathy by their caregivers, which is highly uncommon. People with penises are going to be going through a real dark night of the soul because they're realizing, and they're going to be feeling, depending on how hateful the person is, some might feel genuinely competitive and like jealous of women because women don't have to go through the act of learning how to be empathetic. And they're going to really hold it against women for being able to figure stuff out that they just can't figure out as long as they're functioning with the handicapped mind that doesn't have any empathy. Because empathy is a way of thinking, right? It's a flexible way of thinking. The ability to perceive the impact that you're having on others and adjust your delivery if needed to have the highest vibrational experience. That's not the definition of empathy. That's just the words I'm using right now to define it. So the really dark people are going to obviously look to those who seem to be doing better than them, and they're going to blame them, right? Some low vibrational people are going to be like, it's your fault. Look at all the girls are having a good time now. It's their fault. Look, the women are reaching power positions. It's their fault. Yeah, of course. You're going to have some people who get triggered because they feel like they were a victim to the grooming that they experienced their entire life that taught them to not have empathy, to not be empathetic. Some people are going to have a real negative response. They're going to feel like an injustice was done upon them, that they're a grown-ass person that doesn't have access to a whole part of life just because they're not empathetic. People see other people living wholesome, satisfying, loving lives. They see people that are happy and confident, whether they're single or in a relationship. And more, the low vibrational people are going to see that and they're going to say, I want that. And so it makes sense that at first they'd be like, that's not fair. Why do they get that and I can't? That's not fair. But hopefully they get to the space where they're like, look what those people have. That's not fair. What do they have that I can't, that I don't? Oh, they have empathy. Those are empathetic people. These people have empathy, and those ones don't. So all the people that are living lives that are not satisfying lives that don't feel whole, that don't feel fulfilling, those are all the people that are actually not empathetic. And everyone who's living a satisfying life in this energy are the empathetic people. I do want you to make sure you are noticing that I am saying the word empathetic and empathy, not empath. Empath is a mutation, is a handicap. Empathy, I'm talking about empathy, not being an empath. No being an empath here. That's a big X. Being an empath is a survival technique that your body will activate worst case scenario if there's no other way. If you're ignoring all the signs with your eyes, with your ears, with your mind, with your physical body, if you're ignoring every single sign, then yeah, your empath survival technique will activate and you'll start feeling what the other people are feeling because your body's trying to get you the fuck out of there because your body's trying to protect you and you're not fucking listening. But people who live as an empath are people who live dangerous lives, who don't realize they're in a life that's dangerous for them, who don't realize that they're living in fight or flight, that they're living in survival mode, that their body is constantly in survival mode, constantly having to go into this space where they're constantly feeling the feelings of other people because they don't trust what they see, they don't trust what they hear, they don't trust what their body tells them because they don't listen to themselves. It's not a healthy way to be, and I don't advise any of you to identify as an empath, okay? However, empathetic is a different story. So now we're looking at this interesting period of time in the energy where all the light workers We don't have to identify as a light worker anymore, because it's not work anymore. It's just not work anymore. It's just being. Finally, light workers, finally people of the light, finally love people, finally love steady lifestyle people. Finally, we don't have to work so hard, okay? We don't have to work so hard. We don't have to work so hard to be in the light. We don't have to work so hard to be in the love. Because hallelujah, the light has won. And it was a spiritual battle. And a lot of y'all probably weren't sure if the spiritual battle was underway, but now I'm sure you can feel that it's over. Because there's no longer that resistance to align with the light and the love. Can you feel it? I can. But then again, I'm a psychic. I'm very sensitive to the nuanced energies. But a lot of you are very sensitive to the nuanced energies. So can you feel that the battle is over and that the light has won? It's just weird because we're all used to really beefing up and hunkering down and to do the light work. Let's go! Spectre! To do the light work, we really had to beef the fuck up. To do the light work. Thank you, Spirit. I'm so glad that we get to be alive at the same time in this really unique time in history, where especially if you're over the age of 30, you have lived in hell on earth. You have lived in the transition between heaven and hell on earth, and you're about to step into the golden age of Gaia. We're not there yet. It's okay. No rush. But that shit's underway. And it all happens in our lifetime. You have to be born at a very specific time to get to experience so many historic transits. And so I want to reiterate now. People who already align with the energy of light work. Hi, my darlings. Come on in. Can you wave at everybody? Oh, a lot of people came in. Hi, everyone. That's so nice of you to be here. Okay. So, to reiterate, ready? If you already identify as a light worker, if you already identify as someone who aligns with the light, who aligns with the love vibration, just don't stop. Keep going. And I know it's weird because you don't have the same motivation that you used to have. But I want you to know it's because there's a peace in the realm that has never been felt before. There's a peace in the realm that is a result of the battle being over and the light winning. Before, as you aligned with the light and love every day, and thank you. Thank you for aligning with the light and love every day. And also thank me, and you're welcome. Thank you. But anyways, we have been pushing through the heavy, thick energies of hell on earth, doing the hard thing of aligning with the light over and over and over again. And now all of a sudden the resistance is gone. It's gone. So it feels a little bit like, oh, do I go? Can I move? Wait, hold on. There's that pressure that I'm used to having that forces me to really be in my integrity and align with the light. It's gone. It's like a whole wall of pressure. Gone. So, especially for people who do the light work, people who align with the love vibration. I would advise that you keep moving forward. Easy does it. Easy does it. Because it's going to feel like you can fly. It's going to feel so light. You're going to feel like you've got new wings. Or you're just lighter, or gravity is less heavy. And so you are going to have access to higher heights, higher emotional heights. And that has to happen. For the light workers, we have to experience all the gifts publicly. We are going to keep feeling better and better feelings of satisfaction and love and bliss and joy in our lives. Because ultimately, we are the marketing team for heaven on earth, for peace on earth. We're the marketing team. How are we going to get all these people who are just all demonic to come onto our side of the light? How are we going to inspire these people? How? Because we want to live our lives. We can just live our whole lives, all of us being evangelists for the light. It's naturally embedded in us that we end up being an evangelist of the light, so to speak. Why? Because we experience that soul satisfaction. We experience that feeling of wholeness. We live satisfying lives. We get to engage with life in a joyous way. We get to feel pleasure from nature and from everything. It's a pleasureful, satisfying life that we get to live as light workers. So move forward, tread lightly, take your time. Maybe you don't want to right out the gate start running, because it's going to be so much easier to do what you've always done in terms of how hard it was to stay in integrity, to fight the spiritual warfare and the spiritual battles. So that spiritual battle is gone. So a lot of light workers are just feeling odd, like they're kind of waiting, for the next hit of pressure, but it's not that. Light workers, you can just start moving forward. Just start living, honey. Just start living. Just start living, and things are going to click for you. So you don't have to go quickly, but things might still manifest quickly, because things are just going to click for you, because there's not so many blocks. But you are going to have to be the one who starts moving forward into your life. Don't wait for a battle or a war or a fight or an injustice to inspire you to take action on your dreams. Just start now, okay? The energy is very open. I don't want you to start some new direction. I want you to keep going in the direction of the light work that you've been going on, even though it feels odd because there's not as much spiritual resistance. We need to reach higher heights now. Now we're reaching the next higher heights, and good. So the other people in our society and communities who are so low vibrational by choice can realize there's another way to live when they see all of us in bliss. Okay? I hope this helps. I hope this could give you a little bit of spiritual guidance. You are already aligned with the highest vibrational reality if you're feeling love. Even if it's just a little sparkle of love, even if it's just a little flame in your heart of gratitude to be alive. You're there, babe. So that's the video. I hope you loved it. Take lots of deep breaths and then look around and understand that there is nothing holding you back from doing this next thing. It's not what you think. It's not that there are things holding you back. Nothing is holding you back. It's just you've never existed without any resistance. This is the first time any of us have experienced this kind of peace in the realm, this kind of calm energy where there's no pushback. And I think a lot of light workers are exhausted. And so I think a lot of light workers were almost ready to give up in a way in whatever you've been pursuing because you're so tired. But guess what? You made it. The battle's over. I don't care that you're tired. Everything's lighter and easier now. So keep going. I don't care if you're tired. Keep going and watch. It's going to still work, even though you're tired. And watch. It's actually not going to be so hard. So you can do it tired and it still works out very well. I'm proud of you. Keep evolving. If you identify as a light worker, but you feel like my messages about people with demonic entities resonated more with you, just remember, you can change. You can change as your spirit continues to come online which is happening to everyone because of ascension, the energetics, the freaking geomagnetic radiation hitting the planet. If we want to stay alive, we got to raise in vibration because the planet is raising in vibration. The plants are doing it. The animals are doing it. We're going to have to do it too. But we're the only ones, not the plants and animals, we're the only ones who can be like, you know what? I don't want to evolve. You know what? I don't want to raise in vibration. Ah! We're the only ones who can do that for the most part. The plants, the animals, they just naturally go towards survival and evolution and working with nature and working with the divine. Humans are like, okay, so don't be skeptical with this one. Not with the love, honey. As we raise in vibration, our spirit comes more online. And as your spirit comes more online, you start to feel haunted by a higher version of yourself. But it's not actually something that's above you like that. It's just that a new you is coming online as your spirit is coming online. Your spirit is your soul's connection to God. Your spirit is your soul's connection to the divine. So as more divinity is just kind of flowing into people's bodies as they raise in vibration, naturally, their thoughts, feelings, desires, behaviors are supposed to change, upgrade, and evolve naturally. This is happening to most people. It's happening naturally. They don't even have to be spiritual. They don't even have to know ascension is happening. Non-spiritual, atheists, whatever people, scientific people just have epiphanies. People just wake up one day and are like, you know what, I want to be different. People just wake up one day and decide, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. You know what, that's really cringe that I used to do that. You know what, I want to try doing this. I want to try being this. People do that all the time. So this isn't just like a spiritual person thing. This happens to everyone. In fact, it's probably easier for the people who aren't spiritual because they can just say that they've had an epiphany and change. And ultimately, I don't judge anyone for not being spiritual. Whatever. I'm just glad that we found each other because we like this stuff. So we can like this stuff together. So just know that if you're starting to feel haunted by your integrity, if you feel like you're feeling like you have this voice inside of you that is you, a part of your thoughts that is starting to hold you more accountable, a part of your thoughts that is starting to request that you behave with a greater self-respect or respect for mankind, or just, kind of hold you to a higher standard, that's not going to go away. In fact, it will increase. So it's better to just get in alignment with your spirit already and start doing the homework, because the homework will start building up, and that's not comfortable. Okay. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Happy Monday. Happy February. This Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are on Zoom for the month ahead report. You can drop into that on my website. And that's all I want to tell you right now. So I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye, my dears.